Hey TNA fam, we're back again to talk about TNA wrestling shenanigans here at the Impact Zone podcast. And today I want to talk about why they have to keep the tickets affordable for families. One of the biggest reasons is kids. Why? Because if kids get into TNA, specifically in this case, I guess, but into wrestling in general as kids, then guess what they're going to do? If they become a loyal fan of TNA and what TNA has to offer, they're going to buy tickets into their teenage years and into their adulthood, as long as assuming, not just saying the prices are affordable for them, but assuming the product is something that they want to tune in and see every single week. That's assuming that. But the tickets at least need to be affordable for them. Because if they're not affordable for basically everyone, and yes, again, I talked about this in a sort of another episode where I said one of the reasons why they're potentially raising prices isn't just because they're like, haha, we will get more profit or whatever. That is certainly probably one of the reasons, but a lot of these arenas are saying, hey, well, we want more profit in general anyway as well. So you've got to raise your prices because we are raising our prices. So, it's not just TNA saying, hey, we want more money, but it's also TNA going to a lot of these bigger, nicer arenas as well. It's not just the sweat holes or whatever else it is, the bingo halls or whatever else it is that they were going to before that only seated, maybe 1,000, 2,000 people. Now they're seating 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, whatever people in these arenas. And yes, in some regards, the more people you have in the arena, the more cheap you can make tickets in a way as well. But those bigger arenas do cost a lot more to effectively rent or to utilize as well, or at least they put their prices on renting these arenas up fairly high because they don't want something. Well, I guess they don't care about the events themselves, but they want a return themselves. So they put their prices up to a certain point and they say to them, well, it's your fault if you can't sell enough tickets, but we'll just take some of the money out of your t-shirts or out of your hot dogs or out of your popcorn or whatever else sales that you've got. So just to cover your ticket sales if you don't, land. Obviously, I think actually like hot dogs and popcorn and drinks and concessions and whatever are usually included in their profit margin, and like whatever else goes to whatever show is there at the time. So t-shirts and whatever else actual stuff for whatever show you're at, like Bon Jovi or whatever, I don't know, or TNA or WWE or whatever it is, that's different. That money goes to TNA directly more so. Yes, they have to give back a little bit of that money to the venue, to whomever, to their ticket vendors, to their printers, whatever else it is, etc. But most of that money does go to TNA hands, whereas when you're buying a ticket in the arena, realistically, most of the money is going to, at least like the first few hundred tickets or whatever, few thousand tickets are going to the venue solely, mostly. And it's only up to a certain point that the ticket sales become high enough that TNA gets a certain percentage of that, and after it's actually cleared the level of whatever the venue is asking for. But they're not really taking into consideration the concessions or whatever at that time, but that does add to it, obviously. But yes, ticket prices need to be affordable because, again, if you're not appealing to the kids in this game, those are the easiest people to get in the door and to get into what you're doing. The more you can focus on producing a show that appeals to families and to especially to kids. Yes, it can't just be a kids show or whatnot. But again, you've got to be like at least monetarily saying, hey, it is fairly affordable for people and families to come to this show. Or say, hey, okay, cool. Get a special family TNA discount of some sort. Give it to like families or whatever, people who buy more than 3 tickets, 4 tickets, whatever it is, combined. Things like this, or buy tickets seated next to each other, or have a child. Do you have a child? Is this an adult ticket? Is this a child's ticket? Sort of section, or whatnot. You might need to prove that you have a child or whatever, things like that. But if you have a child, children are half price, type thing. That way you're kind of getting more families in the door because the kids want to go anyway. And it's like, okay, well, children's tickets are half price. That's a good deal, or whatever. Families get a discount, whatever. That's how a few ways you can bring it down for those people. We're not like looking, yes, we're obviously looking for people who want to spend their money. And that's where you get your premium seats and things like that and whatnot, or your premium fan experiences or whatnot. But you also need to have like budget-friendly alternatives. And having these sorts of things isn't really kneecapping yourself, because if you're selling to these younger kids and whatnot, as I sort of was saying, they might become long-term fans into, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, and they might start bringing their kids to your show. So then you might create another generation of, TNA diehard kids, on and on and on again and again and again. So it's kind of an investment in the future. It's, giving a little bit to get a little bit, and again, when you price people out of what you're doing and you say we're only interested in the super rich, effectively, here to come and see our show, that is a very small amount of the percent of the population to start with, and a very, very small percentage of those people are wrestling fans. Most of the wrestling fans are the hardworking, everyday people, from every walk of life and whatnot. So those are the people, for many, 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 many reasons, that you should be appealing to, and should be going out there to say, yes, we will, this is why it's so expensive, and we understand, but we will try to find some levels at which we can offer family or children's discounts or whatever else, or something, or offer some sort of bundle deal for a group purchase or something like that, so that if you buy more than 4 tickets or whatever, and you're not just a scalper or just somebody looking to resell, or just looking to buy all the tickets and resell them, or whatnot, at a much higher rate, then yeah, we're obviously more interested in giving you a slight discount, because obviously you're not buying 4 tickets for the fun of it. You're buying 4 tickets because you're a family or you're a group of some sort, 4 friends, whatever, 4 siblings, whatever it is. So you're obviously coming together as a group, so offering some sort of discount would be nice. So, but yeah, that is that pretty much. And I know some of you guys, as I know, are very smart and know all of this, but it's important that I go through and discuss some of these things. It is part of the job here to do these sorts of things. So, and I do enjoy doing it because, hey, I enjoy wrestling, as you all will know. I've done quite a few episodes here on the channel, even for the fact that I'm producing a lot of this for 2 people and a dog, but I mostly produce it for myself, which, is fun for me, and I enjoy it, and I love to talk about wrestling. So, yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this one, and I hope you will join me again in another one.